What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm on Talks and Gaming. Today we're going to be going over the Speed Duel tier list. This is something I had done a lot, and I have not done it for this format at all, so I wanted to give everybody like a little bit of an update on the format itself, how we're looking right now, and what decks we are seeing a lot of, and where they are placed. So first here is going to be the Beatdown deck. Beatdown itself is crazy, this format. We're looking at Free Squeeze top 4 Joey Beatdown from the Winnabox 29. This list is incredibly strong, being able to bring out the Drill Roids and Banishers, get it a little bit stronger with I'm just going to attack and control your opponent's back row with the skill to allow the trap cards to get reset is really good. Widespread Ruin and Wall of Disruptions are still being played in this format, so being able to get them off of those cards is exactly what you need right now, and Joey kind of does this thing, you know what I mean? So Drill Roid itself just blows up any defense monster, so your opponent can't play defensively. The Black Brachios switches those monsters to defense mode, and so the Drill Roid can attack into it. Banisher makes it to where any monster or any deck based around the graveyard is no longer able to function. Offerings to the Doom is the choice of the one of, making it very strong because you're able to spot removal any monster your opponent controls. Swamp Mirror is obviously like a staple card that people are playing right now because you're able to, when they use Zero Gravity, to actually use it and still go aggro with a monster. Wall of Disruption and Widespreads are still in this deck as well. That way that you have some sort of battle trap against any deck that's not Joey, and also you're able to actually chain multiple battle traps at the same time, and Joey can only negate one of them. And then Dust Tornado is going to be here as well. That way you can destroy spell and trap cards. We got the Gaias and we got the Vampire Hunters inside deck, but obviously this deck comes in different shapes and sizes completely. Everybody is playing a different build of this deck, but this is the deck that people are playing. It's usually 3 Drills, 3 Banisher. Most of the time there's 0 Gravities at 3 in this deck, and for the most part this is just the tier 1 deck, the best deck of the meta if you're trying to get into Speed Duels right now or play at a competitive level. Next on our list for the tier 2 things is Dark Scorpion, Roids, and Cyber Angels. Dark Scorpion's a little bit of a weird one in my opinion. I think that the deck is good, but I don't think it's like tier 2 good. It's definitely a very strong control-based deck, and the list itself is pretty much self-explanatory. You're not going to see very many lists that differ from this list here. You're on the 3 of the Donzalug, the 2 Chick the Yellow, the 2 Trap Master, and the 2 Borg the Strong. And all this deck really does is that you can, discard a card when you control Donzalug, and you get to fill your field with Dark Scorpion monsters, one from your hand, one from your deck with different names, just because you have the Donzalug there. Not only that, but they all can attack your opponent directly. Of course, the downside is their damage is only 400, but they're still able to use when they inflict battle damage effects, like Donzalug can rip a card from the opponent's hand, they can stack cards to the top of the deck, destroy spell and trap cards on the field. The deck itself is very strong because you're able to control your opponent's board like that. The Reinforcements of the Army is usually the one of, because you're trying to max out on that as many Donzalug as possible. Allure of Darkness is the 2 of in the deck because they are a dark deck, and again, you want to be as consistent as possible. Floodgate Trap Hole is the 3 of choice for this deck because you are playing those monsters your opponent controls face down, and now you are able to attack over your opponent. And Waboku is very strong in this deck as well because your monsters can't be destroyed by battle. The only thing that this deck struggles with, which comes up, is the tier 1 deck, which is Joey Beatdown. Now, Joey Beatdown has this ability where they use the 0 Gravity, all those monsters on the field are changed to defense position, and then Drill Roids come out and start beating them in the head. And so that makes it like really hard for the deck, but that's about it. JoJo did really well. They got first place with Dark Scorpion, so the deck itself is viable 100%, and although I don't personally think it should be a top of tier 2, I do think that tier 2, high tier 3 is where this deck belongs. Next on the list is actually going to be Roids. Now, the Roids are alright. No pun intended. So this is Unseen Hero. I met this guy at the national event. He seemed like a really nice dude. I didn't get enough time to talk to him. I wish I did have more time than what I did, but I didn't come for Nats. I was actually on vacation, was just in the area. So I just played to play. But yeah, this is his top 4 list. This is also a list that was created by Dr. Chinstrap. If you guys do not know, he's probably one of the best deck builders in the community. I did meet him and actually lost to him in top 4 for 3rd and 4th place. So the deck is incredible, and the guy is a mastermind when it comes to deck building. So if you're in the Speed Duel League Discord, definitely check him out. Check out any of his decks, build off of him. But also, if you're not in the Speed Duel League Discord, make sure you check out the link in the description down below. But anyway, without further ado, the Lava Golems in this deck are going to be like bread and butter. You get rid of 2 monsters your opponent controls. This came up a lot against me. They're burning for 1,000 damage, and you're usually able to stop them with like Nightmare Wheels, with the Spellbinding Circles, Waboku, stuff like that. And then you're on the Steam Roids, which gain 500 attack whenever they declare an attack. Drill Roids, because it's one of the best cards in the game. Submarine Roids is perfect to burn your opponent for 800 every turn, and then they are switched to defense mode to protect themselves. Mixer Roids allow you to get materials that you need from your deck, and then Sphere Kribo obviously protects your monsters. If you guys don't know the Small Roid Big City skill itself, it allows you to destroy a face-up card you control, and then you are able to actually add a Roid card from your deck to your hand, which is like really strong. So the cards such as Spellbinding Circle and Nightmare Wheel, once they become dead on the field, you can actually get rid of them, and then in turn, you're able to search your deck for a new monster. Same with the Sword of Poison. This card will double one of your monster's attack points. You're able to get rid of it, get a new Roid monster. It's very strong in that regard. Everything else in this deck is just to help stall the opponent, get rid of problematic cards that you are seeing in the current format. And for the most part, the deck itself runs really well. It's a very strong deck. It got first place and third place in the event that I played in. And all in all, it's just a very fun deck for you getting into Speed Duels to try out. Now, next on the list on the tier 2 spot is going to be Cyber Angels. Now, we all know that Cyber Angels is like the bane of our existence at this point in Speed Duels. It ran an entire format and a half. Cyber Angels is pretty much built exactly how it used to be built, except Ben 10 is now at 1, and then Cyber Angel Ritual is now at 2. Again, we are playing the Ursus list. Ursus is best player ever, you know what I mean? But for the most part, it's just getting rid of the opponent's back row and then swarming the field with powerful monsters for an OTK. That's all it really does. It's all it's ever really done. And if you're into like ritual-based decks, this is the one I recommend you play. On the tier 3 list, we got Vampires and Macro. Macro is my favorite deck of the format. I am a Macro player, absolutely love the deck to pieces, but we're going to be going over Vampires first. Again, we're looking at another first place Ursus deck. This is from the Remote Duel Extravaganza, and the deck really, I don't think, has gone through too many changes. I know some people are going on and off of the Haunted Shrine at this point, but it's like Jinzo, Vampire Lord, Vampire Curse at 2. Vampire Hunter is also in the deck as well. We're looking at Retainer and Familiar. Retainer is being put at 3 in this list, while Retainer's only at 2. Golden Ladybug is the 2 of the list. That way you can continuously gain your life points while you have Twisted Personality gaining counters every time you take damage off of your vampire pieces. You got 2 Desire, 2 Book of Moon, 1 Soul Exchange, 3 Awakening, 3 Zero Grav, and like I said, the Haunted Shrine, which people are on and off of right now. The Sphere Kribo, the Hammer Shot, and the Dust Tornadoes are also in the side as well, and can be put in whenever needed. And of course, last on our list is going to be Macro. The decks that I was going for here was looking into the future build. I think this is also the looking into the future build. And so what it does is that it uses Volcanic Rocket to actually search for the Blaze Accelerator. And the deck itself is just based around blowing up the opponent's field. And yeah, it's really cool. Macrocosmos is obviously very strong in this format. Absolutely love it. Macrocosmos is one of my favorite cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! In general. Same with DD Survivor. Both these cards are really cool. All you do is you just stack your deck with the blowout cards or the cards you need to use to blow out cards or search the blowout cards. And yeah, for the most part, it's just really fun to play. But if you guys enjoy this type of content, make sure you leave a like on this video. Make sure you subscribe to see more. And, you know, leave a comment in the comment section down below if there's a deck that you feel like should be on this tier list. I would love to hear what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. But above all else, I want you all to have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.